Welcome back everyone, Phoenix 3 here, and today I think I'm going to play some more Pokemon Showdown. I been a little more interested in VGC later. It's been a lot of fun. I've got a lot of things that I know I need to do with the team, and part of that comes from me recognizing what it is that needs to happen, but I can't do it for, the reasons. One of the things that I'm dealing with is trying to deal with my coverage issue because I do have a coverage issue with this team. It's apparent and I need to be able to address it. So I went to the Team Magma team builder and put my team in just to see what it is that my team has, what it's lacking and stuff like that. So of course what I said, my team has a huge weakness to rock, electric, and ice. Um, all of these are very common attack types. I don't think ice is as common as, say, rock or even electric moves are just because of Rotom and whatnot. But the ice weakness is still bad. So I'm trying to decide what I want to do. Like I said, I want to use the Pokemon that I like to represent me in a tournament. So the Pokemon I can't see leaving the team are Vaporeon, Pidgeot, Zapdos, and Zangoose. I can't see these four leaving the team. On the other hand, we have Latias and Talonflame as Pokemon that can potentially leave. I'm liking Talonflame just because of the fact that it's pretty good. I don't have a Pokemon except Will-O-Wisp. This is really good. With Talonflame, I have EVs set on it so it can outspeed anything that has a max speed of 179. I think that may be a little too good because I'm not outspeeding any other Talonflame for the most part. But I'm thinking maybe 179 speed is good. I'm not sure if there's anything in the VGC tier that has 110 or it has 179. I know 178 is the highest that I've seen. That's things like Mega Kangaskhan, Mega Metagross. Basically anything with a speed base stat of 110. I'm gonna check it again just to make sure because if that's the case, I'm gonna take another 4 points out of speed and put it in maybe HP. I do like the bulkier Talonflame I was running, but that was with the berry that reduces damage from Rock Slide. I feel if I can run a little more defense and have the Will-O-Wisp, that'll support me a lot. But this is going to be something to figure out. I know I really can't have three Pokemon on my team weak to Rock. Talonflame being the only one that's 4 times weak. I can still burn with Vaporeon, but that's a 30% chance to get the burn here with the wide lens. I have a 93.5% chance to get the burn. I like the 93% more. Though if I do need to do something with Vaporeon, I can kind of fish for it, I guess. But I'm just going to take a look here at Mega Kangaskhan because I'm not sure what its max speed is. I think it's 174. Kangaskhan. Alright, it's not showing me its Mega here. But there's a good chance it was probably changed. Yeah, it looks like it was changed. Because before you could just type in a Pokemon's name and it'll show you their Mega and their like base form, but it's not even showing me the mega. It just has their name and then mega, but it is not actually showing their actual stats here. So I'm not sure what's going on. All right, so I don't know. I'm pretty sure their max speed is 178. So I'm gonna take the 4 out from here. Okay, so I don't have that option. Well, it's 178, right? 74, about 72, 128, 128. So 132 is the absolute lowest I can go and still maintain more speed. But I do want to focus on some more speed control, so I'm definitely going to figure that in because I just need Talonflame to be faster than the physical threats that I can still put a Will-O-Wisp on. For example, I'm not going to outspeed a Scarf Landorus, so that's going to be a problem. But I need to have some Pokemon on my team that can still hit reasonably hard. So if I put these 12 here, what does that give me? That gives me 2 points in defense. That could be an additional 2 in HP. I think having more HP is better. Just because it extends Talonflame's non-existent bulk. So we're going to put this up to 24. That's going to give me plus 2 HP. I'm still working on this. Because I'm pretty sure I want some defensive bulk in here. But the only Pokemon that I can probably take out is Latias. Looking at the Team Magma team builder, it's saying I have too much weakness to Dark. Now, there's only one Pokemon on my team weak to Dark, that is Latias. But I feel that Darkness weakness is probably bigger than anything else, just because of Aegislash, and any Pokemon with Sucker Punch and Knockoff. That's going to be a very big deal to Latias, especially since this Latias here is Scarfed. This means I'm pretty much at the mercy of whatever Bisharp wants to do, and that's not a good thing. You never want to be at the mercy of anything your opponent is going to do. And as a player who likes to have options available to themselves, I really don't like Scarf. So the Scarf is going to come off. For what? I don't know. I do want to put an Energy Ball on Latias. But I was thinking about just replacing Latias altogether. Like, Latias is a Pokemon that I would put on my team just for speed and damage. Like, it pretty much has the same role that it has with Dragonite. Like, I like Dragonite too, but it's not a Pokemon I would use to represent me. Same thing with Latias. You know, I like it, but it's not a Pokemon that I would use to actually represent me in a tournament. Cresselia, on the other hand, I really want to use Cresselia, but Cresselia suffers from the same things that Latias does. And it's not so much a weakness against Sucker Punch, but Knockoff is very strong against it just because of you know, people really don't use Cresselia for defensive bulk. But it'd be better if it had something here. I'm gonna revisit this Latias here. Zapdos, on the other hand, I'm not sure if I want to run it, you know, max speed, max special attack. I do think the bulky Zapdos was working, but I was trying to overextend it way too much um, with the Landorus. I really didn't exactly know how I wanted to do with it. I know I wanted it to be able to take a Rock Slide, but taking a Rock Slide isn't going to matter if, one, I'm slower than the Landorus, and two, if the flinch happens. So if the flinch happens, then I lose my turn anyway. So I figured, I would just go with the max speed Zapdos and kind of go from there. Um, Zapdos isn't going to speed tie with anyone. I believe Zapdos is faster than a neutral Kangaskhan. I'm not running the speed beneficial nature. If they decide that they want to just run power instead, then a timid Zapdos should be able to outspeed. But here it's a little different. Like, I really do want to put Articuno on this team. I really do want to put Moltres on this team. Like, I could just run a full bird team for VGC and not have any problems with that. I would actually like to do that. But Rock Slide is a very big deal, and dealing with Rock Slide is going to be a little hard. I was thinking, why not be that guy that uses a Choice Scarf Articuno? But, of course, if I'm using Articuno, I would want it to be um, Mind Reader Share Code. I would want that. But still, right now, I got 3 birds on the team. That's, in my opinion, way too much. The only one I could get rid of is Talonflame, but I feel its utility here is really good because a lot of things on my team aren't exactly fast. And Talonflame just having that priority Brave Bird, I can hit anything first, is going to be good. I am kind of debating wanting to put Flare Blitz on it, just so I have an option against Ferrothorn, because if you saw the other video, there was a situation that came up to where Talonflame couldn't do anything to the Ferrothorn just because it didn't have a fire move. And I want to be able to have that fire move. But my Pidgeot is holding a fire move, and so is my Zapdos. But I feel Talonflame having stab with the fire move may come in handy, and Flare Blitz is a very powerful move. So let's see. I do want to add speed control to the team, though. So I'm trying to decide how I could do that. I could run bulky Latias and just run it in support. Latias does get Icy Wind. Ice Beam. Latias does get Icy Wind, right? Yes, it does get Icy Wind. Vaporeon also gets Icy Wind. I could just have Vaporeon be the annoyer. Like, I used to use Vaporeon on my doubles team with Icy Wind. Every Vaporeon had it. Just because Vaporeon could take a hit and, be good. Having speed control or speed buffing on this team will be good because this means I don't have to run max speed on anything. I can always have a Tailwind up. I can always have an Icy Wind out on the field as well. That's also going to give Pidgeot some wiggle room because I don't have to protect with it first. And I can just go right into a Hurricane or Heat Wave to get a knockout on something. The good thing is that Pidgeot does outspeed things like Charizard Y and Charizard X. Pidgeot will outspeed anything that's base 100 speed invested, for their max nature like Zapdos. Pidgeot will always go first. But if I do that, then I can go back and run a Timid or a Modest. Yeah, it looks like it didn't save my changes from the last video. But even still, I could probably not run any speed at all. Put everything in HP. What would that look like? 190? But I feel Pidgeot's one of those Pokemon that kind of needs to have all its attack. But still, that 172, like, it pretty much puts you at a coin toss if you're fighting anything that's base 110. But I mean, Pidgeot does have to protect, and if I could put a bunch of things on here with speed control, then it'd be good. The problem here is I only have 4 moves. Wisp Protect is obviously really good on Vaporeon. Baby Doll Eyes is also good. Scald is also good. Maybe I could test the Vaporeon without Protect and just run it with Icy Wind and see how that works. But just being able to completely waste a move on my opponent is very good. Another Pokemon that can use Icy Wind, Zangoose. I could take Shadow Claw off, put Icy Wind on. People pretty much won't expect it. The problem here is Zangoose can't take a hit, and it doesn't outspeed things that it needs to. You know, that base 90 speed is a big deal for it. If it was like 110 or 111, 111 being the perfect troll number, then it'll be just so much better. But this area is what I'm working with. Um, Another thing that could work here is Latias learns Tailwind. Latias also learns Icy Wind. Um, I don't know if Icy Wind is a past generation move for any of these Pokemon. I Well, it's not going to tell me until I actually click the button. So, but Tailwind is a strong play for Latias, and is actually one I would even consider putting on. Like, just take Shadow Ball off and put Tailwind on. It'll help if I can spell today. So we got Tailwind. So that'll be Latias and Talonflame with Tailwind, and I can just leave Latias here as a an attacker. Maybe put some more bulk on it. Cresselia, also a very good user of um, Icy Wind. So I think I would want to explore that if I did anything, because Latias is still good. Putting Cresselia on my team is also good because one, Cresselia doesn't have the weakness to Dragon and Ice, but it still has a weakness to Dark, Bug, and Ghost. All of which are common attack moves with the exception of Bug, I think. But there's a trade-off there because, well, Latias has the resistance to Thunder. Latias has the resistance to Water. Latias has the resistance to Fire. Latias also has the resistance to Bug. Not a very common attack move, but Latias has 4 resistances that could benefit me. I can switch Latias in on a Thunderbolt. But if Latias gets paralyzed, that's a big deal. Cresselia doesn't mind getting paralyzed, and a Cresselia with a lot of bulk is going to put in a lot of work. But like I said, the biggest threats I feel to Cresselia are Bisharp and Aegislash. Kangaskhan not too much, though they can have a Sucker Punch, but for the most part, Cresselia is just going to be playing the support role, and I would rather have a Pokemon that can take a couple hits and get beat up and just support the team, because people who sleep on Cresselia, you know, they kind of do bad. But in the event that a team does have something like a Bisharp, I'm going to have to go aggressive just against it to be able to like deal with it. I'm talking like if I'm bringing Cresselia, I have to bring Talonflame and Vaporeon. And then I have one other move or one other Pokemon to deal with it, which is probably going to be Pidgeot or Zapdos. Because, you know, Sucker Punch knocks Zangoose out in one hit. Sucker Punch knocks Latias out in one hit. I think Sucker Punch knocks Pidgeot out in one hit. Sucker Punch does a lot of damage. And Latias is extremely weak. With Cresselia, I don't have to commit to an attack. And then I can do shenanigans like Trick Room and, you know, just a bunch of fun stuff. So, let me see. I'm gonna go back here on the team real quick. I'm gonna make attempts to save this and see if it saves. If not, I'm gonna have to go into the actual file, get the file, copy all that down, and do a manual save. That may be what I have to do. I think I'm gonna do that. Let's go to my computer. I have to remember where the actual file is, though. I think it's in Documents. Documents, My Games, Pokemon Showdown, Teams. Alright, so where is it? VGC. So I would have to save everything on this file here. That's how Showdown reads the documents. It looks for these files here and loads them. All right. Yeah, I kind of got something else here going on the side too. I'm trying to get all that together. Do I already have one here with Cresselia on it? I know I had one that I was using. I'm just actually not sure. Where it is? Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Am I really trying to use? You know what? We'll just do a new one. We already got it. So we're gonna look into Cresselia here, because I want to see how Cresselia can actually help the team. Oh, I swear this lags like a lot. Cresselia. And plus, Cresselia is a meat shield. I mean, she will take any hit and not complain too much. Now, in order to prevent Cresselia from being like knockoff bait, I kind of want to avoid using leftovers. Oh, Vaporeon has leftovers, so Cresselia can't use it anyway. So I would have here. I don't know, but max defense or special defense, max HP, beneficial nature, and minus attack. So we're looking at 394 special defense. 394 special defense is a very big number, especially when backed up with that huge attack stat. Because we have to look at one thing here. Cresselia will eat any special attack. We're talking special attacks from Sylveon aren't going to be doing as much damage. But we still need to be able to kind of play around it. So maybe we can put something like Mental Herb on it. That's going to at least give me a way to break Taunt. Breaks Disable, Encore, Heal Block. Okay, I didn't know that. I knew it got rid of Attract and Taunt, but I didn't know Disable. So pretty much anything that locks Cresselia from using moves, this will be useful. Alright, so nothing to do there. One thing this is going to do is give me my continued immunity to ground. So Cresselia is a Pokemon I can switch in on more situations than I can switch in Latias on, just because. You know, I can't switch Latias in on a Dragon type move. I can switch Cresselia in on anything. And any Pokemon that use physical moves simply just won't do enough damage to it, which is always good. So why does that matter? Because this here becomes a perfect start against Landorus. Now, the U-turn is still going to be a problem. That's just one thing to kind of just note, because U-turn from the Landorus did knock my Latias out in one hit. I didn't know that. I thought it would take it like decently well. You know, Latias has some decent bulk, but no, it just knocks it out in one hit. And it did attack me first, so it was scarfed, so I knew it wasn't banded. So seeing that knock me out in one hit, it was kind of a big deal for me. But I think I should just say something real quick. Someone posted on one of my comments suggesting replacing my Talonflame with Mamoswine. His name was Brian, and he said, you know, defensively it gives you an option against, you know, Pokemon on my team that I feel are a threat to my team. You know, the lightning types and the ground types. Plus, I also have access to Rock Slide and stuff like that, and it gives me a 30% chance to flinch. The thing is I don't think Mamoswine is fast. It's pretty slow in my opinion. Like, it's not Terrakion fast. Like, Terrakion is like 110 base speed, I think. 280 base speed. It's not that bad, I guess. It's 259. At max should be like 290 something, I think. It's slower than Zangoose though. And minus special attack. Yeah, 284. Um, the thing is that I really want to use Pokemon I like. Mamoswine isn't a Pokemon that I like. Yes, Mamoswine is a good Pokemon to use, but it does have its own problems. For one, it's weak to water, it's weak to grass, and it's weak to fire. Those are all common attack types in VGC. In singles, it might be a little bit better just because Mamoswine doesn't have to worry about these things. It can easily switch in on something it knows that it's going to use because there's only one versus one. Here we got two Pokemon, and I find Mamoswine to have the same issues of switching in that I have with Latias. It's just that I don't know what slots my opponent will target, and I have to make aggressive predictions to be able to safely get it in. Like if I have Vaporeon and Pidgeot on the field at the same time, I mean, there's a good chance I know my opponent is going to target Pidgeot, but Pidgeot can't take a hit to begin with anyway. So I have to keep that in mind when my opponent is going to decide to hit me with something like Iron Head from Bisharp will knock Pidgeot out, just like a Thunderbolt from Thundurus will knock a Pidgeot out. Vaporeon can take the hit, obviously, because I invested in it to be able to take the hit. But I just don't think Mamoswine is going to be a good choice for me. I mean, if anything, I will always go to Articuno before I put in this. Now, another Pokemon I could try on a team is Jolteon. Jolteon has a max speed of 394. It outspeeds every attacker in VGC, I think, with the exception of Greninja. No, it outspeeds Greninja. Greninja's max speed is 191. So it outspeeds Greninja. It doesn't outspeed Noivern, I think. And the only Pokemon I think that is faster than it without an item is probably Crobat. But Crobat isn't really an attacker. It normally plays a support role. Though Super Fang is annoying. But I mean, it is a suggestion. He gave me a good reason to get rid of it. Or to put it on over Talonflame because it doesn't have that weakness to rock, which is what I want to try to eliminate. But I think at this point it's going to be impossible because I want to have Pidgeot and Zapdos. I don't know. I do want a Pokemon on my team with Lightning Rod, though. I feel that is also going to be a good ability to have because I can also pair it with the Vaporeon and the Pidgeot. But the thing is, the Pokemon that have Lightning Rod, they really can't take a hit, or they're just not that fast, or I just don't like them. Like, I have a little bit of love for Raichu, but it's not a Pokemon I would choose to represent me. I could use Mega Sceptile. It's really fast, but it has that 4 times weakness to ice, which is what I don't want. It's the reason I'm not using Dragonite. And it takes my Mega. I really don't like any of the Pokemon that have the Lightning Rod ability. So I'm gonna do a Google search real quick since I have it open. I think the only Pokemon I might have considered using, I don't know. I really don't know. If Zapdos had Lightning Rod, that'd be perfect. But I think they changed his hidden ability to Static, which is annoying because I can't do anything. Now, I'm not sure if Lightning Rod draws in my lightning moves as well. Hold on, ring target? Is that a thing? Hold on, how does this work? The holder's type immunities granted solely by its typing are. I need to see how this works. I'm not sure what this does. This is the thing about these Pokemon games, man. These items are super cryptic. I don't know what that means. All right. I swear, wiki pages, man, they just take so long to load on my computer. But this is a good thing, you know. I get to like look at, what does what. The holder loses its type immunities. Moves that would otherwise have no effect will land on a Pokemon that holds it. Okay, so why would I use that? I mean, this is obviously a disruptive item, but okay, that's not something I would want on a no. That's a bad item. I mean, this does allow me to like hit ghost types with Zangoose if I can get the item on them, but why would I do that? You know what? I don't know. All right, Pokemon with Lightning Rod. Let's see. I would consider using Raichu. Marowak also has Lightning Rod, but Marowak has that weakness to water and grass. That's really its only two weaknesses, but those are really big weaknesses. The only water Pokemon that I know people use are Rotom. People use, I mean, if you come across a rain team, then you really can't use Marowak. But I mean, Marowak will only be used on one type of Pokemon, or you would only use Marowak on a Pokemon team that you can use it on. Marowak would definitely take away Pidgeot's lightning weakness, which would be huge. But I mean, Pokemon that normally run lightning type attacks also run ice type attacks, which is the reason I don't want to run Mega Sceptile. Manectric, I would also consider running. Um, has Lightning Rod as a second ability, and it's reasonably fast. Um, Plusle, Minun, and Pikachu, they have it as a hidden ability. Actually, Minun doesn't even have Lightning Rod as a hidden ability. Only Plusle does. Rhyperior and Zebstrika also have it as a an actual ability that they can use. Uh, Lightning Rod cannot redirect electric type, judgment, or natural gift. Okay. It's just a really hard ability, but I do need that resistance to Thunderbolt. I feel, I mean, Cresselia can take a Thunderbolt really well. I'm gonna go to the Pokemon calculator real quick. I'm gonna put Cresselia in because I mean I'm feel like I can really use Cresselia over Latias. Cresselia has a lot more staying power, and with the Icy Wind, I can run speed control with it. So doubles Trick Room. I mean, Trick Room is also an option on Cresselia. Maybe I got some of my slower Pokemon out, and I can set up a Trick Room, or I can have Trick Room 1 just as like a counter Trick Room. But let me see, we got Calm. No, we're running Max Special Defense. We're not running that. We're running Max Special Defense. So that's how you run Cresselia. Um, I guess we do 4 defense because why not? And I think it's funny it has Icy Wind on it by default. I mean, do I have to have Psyshock? Citrus Berry is also a good item. I'm not going to lie, but I feel Mental Herb is a much better item just because of the fact I can avoid, you know, those attacks. Um, Yeah, so let's see. Mega Pidgey, Mega. Could you imagine Cresselia having a Mega? That'd be stupid. They just give Cresselia a Mega. I mean, Cresselia is one of my loves though. Like Pidgeot is my bird love. Vaporeon is like my evolution love, and I mean, really don't know how I feel about Cresselia actually. Like I know I have love for it. It's there, but I'm just not exactly sure where it's at. So Thunderous, what is Thunderous? Double special attacker. They can be bulky though. But I just want to get an idea because the only Pokemon that are really going to be using Thunderbolt on my Cresselia are going to be Pokemon like Thundurus. Um, Rotom will be doing Thunderbolt. But the thing is, though, is Zapdos' Thunderbolt isn't going to be as powerful as Landorus's or Thundurus's, I feel. So getting the numbers here will be good. So that Thunderbolt will be doing at least 26% to 31. I mean, that's still pretty big, though. That's a Life Orb one. Without Life Orb, it's doing at least 20%. So I mean, at most, depending on the Landorus, I can only be taking 31%. So I can switch that in on it. And then I could have some other stuff to do with it as well, like set up screens. But for Cresselia, I mean, what do you put on a VGC Cresselia? I feel Icy Wind is needed. Energy Ball, it lets Cresselia hit other Pokemon. See, I'm just not sure what here is good. I mean, I can do Toxic, I guess. Toxic has been very useful. And I really like to have Recovery on Cresselia. So I'm thinking Moonlight. Oh, it gets Moonblast. Moonblast hits everything in the game. And it has a 30% chance of lowering the target special attack. So let's... Um, I mean, is Toxic good? Let's see. Who can I not Toxic? I can't Toxic Venusaur. I can't Toxic Aegislash. I can't Toxic Bisharp. Those are the... Well, two of them are extremely common, but I mean, people use Venusaur as well just because of how bulky it is. So maybe using Toxic on it isn't a good thing to have, and I can just put Moonblast on. The only reason I would have Energy Ball on Cresselia is for other water types, and man, I can't spell today. I mean, is that good? I can't help but think Cresselia needs some special attack in here. So so this here is pretty much an offensive Cresselia. Or I can just go balls in and just put, um, what's the name of that? Assault Vest. And you guys already know what I was talking about with that Assault Vest Cresselia last time. I'm about to take a look at those numbers again, because those are some very sexy numbers. Assault Vest Cresselia takes 13% from a Thunderbolt Assault Vest. Even a Shadow Ball from Aegislash isn't going to want to like do anything to it. But like I said, I like to have the option of being able to do things. But the thing is here is that, um, you know what? I think we're gonna try it. We are going to try Assault Vest Cresselia on this team. Let's go back. Let's do VGC main. We're going to take Latias off. Latias is coming off. Yeah, Latias is coming off. For Cresselia. I forgot Latias had a Mega. Cresselia. Let's see. Max. Max. I think I'll put that 4 in special attack. And plus, minus. What did we say we was doing with Icy Wind? Icy Wind, Moon Blast. Energy Ball and Side Shot. I think that's what you do, right? Bulky Special Sweeper. Max Special Attack, Max HP. Yeah, I mean, Cresselia can do it. I mean, on average, its speed is 208, just uninvested. Like, even if you were to run a max speed like Cresselia, you're still getting a Pokemon with 295 speed. That's fast for a Pokemon like Cresselia. And Assault Vest. Look at that. Level 50, obviously. And I think that's it for, like, Cresselia. Zangoose is another Pokemon I wanted to look at. We're obviously not going to keep Icy Wind on. Oh, that's the reason I wanted to put Cresselia on a team, was for speeds. Well, we got Icy Wind, though. I can Icy Wind to anything, and they immediately lose any kind of advantage. Zangoose will have Quick Attack. I mean, I just can't name how many times this saved me. Quick Attack, Close Combat, Protect, Facade. But I have that problem where I can't deal with Ghost. But we got Speed Control. We got Speed Control, so we don't need it. We don't need it. Shadow Claw. I think Shadow Claw is much better than Night Slash. So who does Night Slash hit, though? But Shadow Claw hits Metagross. I don't remember if Metal Resist the other one. Let me Shadow Claw. That's better. And yes, Zangoose does learn every special attack under the sun. That's why I love it so much. Because it can be is versatile. So its special attack sucks, but it has some good coverage. And Zangoose also learns very good utility moves like Thunder Wave. It learns all the elemental punches. I don't think I need them for VGC though. Because the biggest one I really want to have is Facade. Oh, it learns Water Pulse. Solar Beam. Shockwave. Yep. Zangoose does everything. Even learns Incinerate. See, this is a thing with normal types. They just learn everything. Like, there's no reason for Zangoose to know Incinerate or Icy Wind. Zangoose also has Quick Guard. So, you know, that's a thing too. Maybe I can put Quick Guard on Zangoose, and that covers Cresselia's weakness to Sucker Punch. It also prevents Zangoose from being Mach Punch. And it also prevents things like Talonflame from doing really weird stuff to me. But Talonflame also gets Quick Guard. But Talonflame has a purpose. Zangoose, I'm just not sure what I want it to do. Shadow Claw is good because it lets me hit Ghost, but the only Ghost I'm really going to hit with it is Aegis Slash. And I would really have to call the King's Shield and whatnot. I don't know. I think I'm gonna come back to that. I mean, I don't use it all the time. So a move like, or even Taunt. Taunt is a really good move to have on it because this means I can prevent other Pokemon from doing things that they want. Like Zangoose has a lot of utility it can use. Of course, if I decide to just make Zangoose like a support Pokemon to have things like Taunt, Quick Guard, stuff like that, then I would have to get rid of all of this. But Zangoose's best thing is just to attack. I can taunt a potential Trick Room user, but I mean, people who play the game smart, if they're going to want to get Trick Room up, they will get Trick Room up. There's just no way to avoid that. Body Slam is also really good. 30% chance to paralyze. That 30% chance to paralyze is good. Not gonna lie. Brick Break destroys screens, which means if I want to do more support oriented Cresselia, I can have my screens. Zapdos, not sure what I wanted to do with it yet. Ancient Power seems like it'll be really good for it. Discharge is also really good. But I don't want to have a situation where I can't protect one turn and then use it. Having Rhyperior or Mamoswine in that instance would be good because I can just spam Discharge without reason. But I really want to focus more on speed control than anything else. But I think Assault Vest is too restrictive to Cresselia though. I really think Mental Herb would do much better here. But this set right here doesn't care about getting taunted though. And the best thing for that is, well, my opponent would taunt it and they just won't get anything because they're going to assume my Cresselia is, just a normal Cresselia. So I think the biggest change we made here was we took some EVs we took 12 from speed, put it in HP because Talonflame really only needs to be faster than Kangaskhan really. And that's anything that's base 110. But here I also have another Pokemon that can slow the team down. I've got Tailwind here, Icy Wind here. I really feel that I need another move to control speed. Like that should be the theme of my team. Is like I can control speed, but I should also be able to stall Trick Room out if I need to. Cresselia doesn't mind sitting in a Trick Room because it can heal itself. But it's really hard because I think Cresselia needs leftovers more than Vaporeon does. But I just really can't help but think that, like, what would be another good item? Because this means I have to put Life Orb on something. And the only Pokemon that I know would appreciate a Life Orb more than anything else here on the team is Zapdos. I got the Expert Belt on it just because I don't want to, sacrifice health. Giving your opponent free damage is always bad. But Zapdos doesn't have any real weaknesses outside of Ice and Rock. If I use Roost and they catch me, then of course I get the ground weakness for that turn. But let me see, 1.2 times damage for super effective moves, and Heat Wave is, and Life Orb just gives me an additional 1.3 damage on everything I use. Zangoose has the Toxic Orb. Cresselia, like I really like the Assault Vest. It's going to take a couple games for me to really see how that's going to affect me. But take, for example, Cresselia is faster than Amoonguss. Why I bring that up is because Cresselia gets Safeguard. Cresselia gets Safeguard. And that's going to protect my team from anything like sleep and stuff like that, which is something I really want to be able to protect myself from. So, the biggest status conditions I can worry about: Thunder Wave or Paralysis and Sleep. Those are the two biggest things. Giving myself immunity from one of them is good, or from just all of them for 5 turns is good, because that means my opponent can't do anything to me. But this set right here is very, very susceptible to Sucker Punch, which is what I don't want. You know, we're just gonna scrap it. I'm gonna put on the Mental Herb. I mean, it's good, but that's not something I would take to VGC though. So Icy Wind for sure, Moonblast for sure, Moonlight, because I feel Cresselia does need bulk, and oh, this is really gonna come down to Energy Ball or Moonblast. I feel. Safeguard. I think I'm putting Safeguard on it. It's just a really good move to have. Because, I mean, Cresselia doesn't mind getting paralyzed. It's not doing much anyway. But just to be able to avoid sleep, I feel, is a big deal. I had Uproar on Pidgeot just to kind of avoid that, but Uproar attacks anywhere on the board, so I don't really want that. So Icy Wind, Moonblast, Safeguard, Moonlight. I think that's what we're working here with Cresselia. And the Mental Herb is going to, of course, um, guarantee me a turn to set up something. And I think we should probably put some special attack on this. I think Moonblast is going to hit everything in the format for weakness. Well, not for weakness, but it's going to hit everything in the game for damage at least. It's really bad against Charizard Y, but I mean, that's why I have Zapdos and Pidgeot and Zangoose, I guess. I keep going back to Vaporeon. It's like I really want to put Icy Wind on it. I really want to do that. Talonflame has the burn. There's no need for Thunder Wave because I've got speed control. I need more speed control though. I'm thinking maybe taking Heat Wave off of Zapdos and putting Tailwind on it. But Zapdos is going to make it to where I don't have to have Pidgeot in the game just to be able to use Heat Wave. Though Pidgeot's Heat Wave is guaranteed and Zapdos's isn't. And I really can't put Tailwind on on Pidgeot just because I feel these moves are essential to have. Hyper Beam is going to be Pidgeot's best stab, so it's going to let me hit something like Rotom at least once and be able to knock it out. Because if the Rotom has Volt Switch, then the Volt Switch won't be able to knock me out. If Rotom has Thunderbolt, that might knock me out. But I can hit it with a Hurricane first and then knock it out with a Hyper Beam. Of course, I have to maintain this. Man, this is really hard. Like, when people said team building is extremely hard, you know, they mean it. Because I can keep Taunt on Zangoose. And that gives me what? It allows me to taunt Amoonguss. It allows me to taunt users that are using Redirect. It allows me to taunt just gives me a lot of coverage, a lot of utility for Zangoose. I can hit things that want to set up on me. You know, being able to drop a taunt on something like Fable is a big deal. But this still doesn't help my Sylveon problem, though. And that's the one thing I want to do is just be able to deal with Sylveon. Oh my goodness. Maybe we go back and run the bulky Zapdos. So what's bulky Special Sweeper look like? So no speed in Zapdos whatsoever. Like I don't think I've ever had a Zapdos not run speed. It just feels weird. I think we're gonna go back to like max speed. Okay, so let's do plus. Okay, it's not gonna let me do that. Let me see, 252. And what's Zapdos? Oh, I thought it was faster. But I guess that's base 100 for you. But I think I could run that really awkward set again. But if I'm running speed control anyway, then I have options. For example, I can run Zapdos at its best nature, not focus it on speed, and I can distribute. Because Tailwind is going to make me faster than anything that's not Scarf. But I have to have the Tailwind up. See, that's kind of the trade-off right there. I have to have the Tailwind. I feel like putting some investment in HP. And I guess investment in defense is probably better. Because, Zapdos being able to take a Rock Slide is good. But Zapdos being max speed and max attack lets it hit Landorus if I have a Tailwind up, or a way to reduce the Landorus' speed. So I think that's what I want to play for. You know, I like it when my Zappy is in the front line. But even still, I think what is it faster though? 152 times 1.5. I mean, Landorus is slower than Zapdos, I think. Okay, it's right here. You know, it's just good to see numbers when you're trying to build a team. Okay, so this is going to be a thing then. Showdown is so slow. Um, Land. Landorus T. 91 base speed, 281. I think they're speed nature. 309 is its max speed. Of course, we're going to put that down to 50 so we can see some numbers here. 157 is what we were looking at before, but I'm not sure what Tailwind does. I don't know if Tailwind doubles the speed or what. I don't know if it doubles the speed or if it gives it the same speed boost as Choice Scarf. There's a lot of technical, like mechanical stuff that I really should know, but I mean, I don't know. Because there was I was playing the game where I thought Tailwind pretty much like Tailwind doubles the user speed. So my speed with Zapdos should be much faster, I would think. 157, 152 if I leave it like this. But I should be faster than the Landorus. I'm gonna put Protect on Zapdos. I mean, the only thing I'm really hitting with Heat Wave is Bisharp, Ferrothorn, maybe Scizor. I mean, Heat Wave is a really good move to have, but I need some testing here. A lot of Pokemon get it. Alright, so Protect. Mega Pidgeot is running. Let's see. That's fine. I mean, it's really going to come down to Cresselia and Talonflame holding the team, I think. That might be bad. But the only way to know for sure is to play test it. So, we're going to try to save this. And I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here, and we'll be right back to do the playtest session. See you guys in a little bit.